until 4/1, so that's for 3/12 of a year. Then on 4/1, as a result of a 2-for-1 stock split, always put a little asterisk here, now we have 40,000 times 3, April, May, June, so that's 3/12. But because this is one of those unusual situations, I gotta go back and multiply everything above it times 2, because it's a 2-for-1 stock split, and then we issued 10,000 shares on July 1, so that would give us 50,000 for the last half of the year. So, 6, that'd be 10,000. 1/4 of that is also 10,000, and half of that is 25. Is 45,000 a choice? Is that the answer?
Yes.
45,000, the answer is B. B. Okay? Now, for the next one, they give us a lot of information.
1 second on this last one. Why did we do half of the year on 1/7/1? Why would we do 6/12 instead of 1/7?
Well, how many months is from July 1 to the end of December?
7.
Just smile.
We're doing it for the whole year, right? So if it happened on July 1, how long was exactly 50,000 shares outstanding? 6/12 of the year.
Just to interpret what's being said on the stock split in the book, they're saying that they issued 20,000, but those were split.
No, they issued another 20,000. You already had 20,000.
Right.
And they're saying due to a 2-for-1 stock split on April 1, we issued another 20,000.
Okay.
So you had 20,000, and then if you do a 2-for-1, now you've got 40,000. That make sense? Okay? All right, so let's look at the gray information on page 340. 340 in the gray. And I'm going to do this for year 2, year 3, and year 4. Now let's read what's in the gray. Cologne Company uses a calendar year for financial reporting. The company is authorized to issue 5 million shares of $10 par value common stock. At no time has Cologne issued any potentially dilutive securities. A 2-for-1 stock split of Cologne's common stock took place on March 31 of year 4. So I'm just going to write myself a note, 2-for-1 split on March 31. Additional information is in the next column. The number of common shares issued and outstanding on 12/31 of year 1 is 1 million. Therefore, that would also be how many I start year 2 with. Right? 1 million. Then they say shares issued as a result of a 10% stock dividend on 9/30 of year 2. Okay? So this is one of those unusual. So that would be 1,100,000 times 3/12. This would be 1 million times 9/12, and then times 1.1. Somebody would help me. What is 1 million times 9/12? and then times 1.1. 825. And then 1,000,001 times 3/12 is 275. Therefore, this answer is 1,100,000. I mean, I don't know if that's the question yet. I'm just solving for these because then I know these questions, that's what they're asking. So the weighted average number of common shares outstanding for year 2 is $1,100,000. Solved for as follows.
I think I just didn't follow completely, but where did you get the 1.1?
It's a 10% stock dividend right here. 10% stock dividend.
Okay, so you just
Added that to it. 10% will be another 100,000. Okay? Okay, then I started year 3 with 1,100,000. Let's see what it says. Shares issued for cash on 3/31, 1,000,000. So that would give me 2,100,000. Okay? So if they were outstanding January, February, and March, that's 3/12. And for the rest of the year would be 9/12. So that is 275 and 1,575. Added them together, 1,850,000. Okay, then how many shares did we start year 4 with? If we ended year 3 with 2,100,000 outstanding, that's how many you start next year with. And obviously they stayed the same until March 31st, therefore that's times 3/12. So here we have a 2-for-1 stock split, so now all of a sudden you have 4,200,000. And because this is one of those unusual things, I got to go back up here and multiply everything above it times 2. And this would be times 9/12. So that'll be 1,000,000. Is this 1,050,000? And 4,000,002 times 9/12 would be 3,150,000. So that's 4,200,000. 4,200,000. Okay, now, using this information, let's answer the questions 10, 11, 12, and 13. Number 10 says, the weighted average number of common shares used in computing basic EPS per share for year 2 on the year 3 comparative income statement. Okay? Nothing happened in year 3 that caused us to have to go back and adjust. The 2 weird things happened in year 2 and in year 4. So the number that I would use for EPS calculation in year 2, when I issue the year 3, would be the 1,100,000. 1,100,000. So the answer is A. Okay, but look at the next question. Number 11 says, the weighted average number of common shares used in computing basic EPS for year 3 on the year 3 comparative income statement. Well, that's just the 1,850,000. The answer that's given, 1,850,000. So that answer is B. B. Okay, number 12. The weighted average number of common shares to be used in computing basic EPS for year 4 on the year 4 comparative income statement is the $4,200,000. $4,200,000. Okay, now, this is a good little wrinkle, the last question, number 13. The weighted average number of common shares to be used in computing basic EPS for year 3 on the year 4 comparative income statement would be. Okay, so here we're talking about these 2 years. So whenever you have one of these asterisk events, you don't just go back and treat it as if it happened on the first day of the year, but if you're issuing comparative statements, you have to treat it as if it happened on the first day of the earliest year presented. And since this was a 2-for-1 split, you would just double this number and be 3.7 million, right? 1,850,000 plus 1,850,000 is 3.7 million. So your answer is 3.7 million, which is C. C.
So what is a comparative statement?
When you issue 2 income statements consecutive, 2018 and 2017, that's a comparative income statement.
Okay.
All the other questions were just this year,
Okay.
except for the first one that said, what number would you use for this year when you issue the comparative statement for year 3? So you got year 3's income statement and year 2 right next to it. Since there were not any of those asterisk events in year 3, then I just used the number of shares outstanding for the year. Okay? Only when I'm trying to determine what number would I use for year 3 when I issued year 4, and year 4 included one of these weird events, 2-for-1 split, or 110% stock dividend, then I would adjust it by that amount because you do it as of the first day of the earliest period presented.
Okay.
Question? Okay, turn to page 342. Question 14 is based on the following information. Smith Company had net income for the year of $101,504 and a simple capital structure consisting of the following common shares outstanding. Number 14 says Smith's basic EPS should be, okay? For January and February, you had 24,000 shares outstanding. Then on March 1st, you had 29,400 shares outstanding. As of July 1st, you had 36,000 shares outstanding. And then as of December 1st, you had 35,040. So now all you have to do is figure out the months. 1, 2, the 2 twelfths here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 4 twelfths. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 5 twelfths. And 1 12. Always double count. 2 and 4 is 6, and 5 is 11, and 1 is 12. We got 12 twelfths here. When you do the math, that works out to 4,000, 9,800, 15,000, and 2,920. So you add all that up, it's 31,720. So basic EPS is equal to, what was it, 101,504 minus 0 divided by 31,720. When you do the math, that works out to $3.20. So the answer is B. B.
And it says, do you want us to put the B on there, place EPS, or can we just do EPS?
That's fine. If I asked you to solve for, you know, A is basic EPS, I would put basic EPS. All right? Now, is any of this beyond your capability? Not yet. Good. All right, look at number 15. We're about to get to diluted, so look at number 15. The company had the following outstanding shares as of January 1 of year 2. Preferred stock, $60 par, 4%, cumulative. If I were you, I'd put a check mark by the word cumulative. 10,000 shares. Common stock, $3 par, 50,000 shares. Okay? Let's read the paragraph. On April 1 of year 2, the company sold 8,000 shares of previously unissued common stock. Okay? So now we have 58,000 shares outstanding. And no dividends are declared or paid during year 2, and no dividends are in arrears. Okay, so we're through. So now we can do, what's the denominator? This will be for 3 12s, and this is for 9 12s. So I can do that.
12,500.
12.5 and 43.5. So what does that wind up being? 56? Okay, so basic EPS will be, I don't remember my net income. Net income was 236,000. Minus some dividends, divided by 56,000. Okay, we got to figure out how much is the dividend on the preferred stock. Since it's cumulative, it does not matter that they weren't paid. Since it's cumulative, we got to subtract 1 year's worth. How much is the dividend on one share? 4% of $60 par is $2.40 times 10,000 shares would be $24,000. $24,000. So then when you do the math, it works out to $3.79. $3.79. Questions? Questions? You're good with that? Okay. Page 343, let's look at diluted EPS. Now this is where it gets a little deeper. When computing diluted earnings per share, convertible securities that are potential common stock are D, recognized only if they are diluted. Remember, if they're anti-dilutive, we leave them alone. We only assume they are converted if they are diluted. Okay, number 2. In calculating annual diluted EPS, which of the following should not be considered? Which of these will we ignore? A, the weighted average number of common shares outstanding? No, that's our denominator. B, the amount of dividends declared on non-convertible cumulative preferred stock? No, we don't ignore that. If it's cumulative preferred stock, you got to subtract it one way or the other. C, the amount of cash dividends declared on common shares. Okay, is that anywhere in our calculation? No. But let's go to D, see if the number of common shares resulting from the assumed conversion of debentures outstanding. That would be 2. If they're convertible, you would assume they're converted, and that would increase your denominator. The one you do not pay attention to is C, the amount of cash dividends on common stock. Number 3, in determining diluted EPS for a complex capital structure, which of the following is a potential common stock? Non-convertible preferred stock. If it's non-convertible, that's not potentially diluted, so no. Stock option, yes or no? Yes. So the answer is no, yes. The answer is C. C. How we doing?
Make sure you put that one on the test.
Number 4. In determining diluted EPS, a potential common share was anti-dilutive in year 2 and dilutive in year 3. The potential common stock would be included in the computation only for year 3. If it's anti-dilutive, you do not convert it in that year. But if it is dilutive, you would convert it. So the answer is no, yes. The answer is B. B. Turn over to number 5. The nature of the adjustment for stock options in the calculation of diluted earnings per share can be described as historical because earnings are historical. B, historical because it indicates the firm's valuation. C,